Welcome back to the Weights and Glory podcast. I'm Walter.
I'm Ethan. Let's get into it.
So today we're going to be talking about fitness plateaus as well as plateaus with your relationship with God. So starting off with fitness plateaus, basically what a plateau is just getting to, what would you say, just a hard point, like a stopping point?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at a plateau in sense of like topologically, which is where it comes from, a plateau is a flat place. It's like I mean, you could be in a mountain range that has a plateau and it's just flat. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking at your journey, I mean, your fitness journey or your journey with Christ, I mean, your relationship with God, you're looking at it like going up on a graph like this.
And then you get to a flat point.
Yeah, and it kind of just flattens out. I mean, it's flat. You get flat. So that's kind of how you could look at a plateau, is just a time in whatever you're in. If you're hitting a plateau, look at it as this is a time where I'm just kind of flat. I'm not increasing. So, I mean, it's just kind of when you hit like a hard point, a stopping point almost.
Okay. And because, I mean, progress isn't always linear. It's not just a straight line.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes up and down.
Yeah.
You'll hit a plateau, not really progressing at all.
Yeah.
And so there's things that you can do, and we'll go over practical applications to be able to get over that plateau. Yeah. So for fitness, a big one is you're losing weight and you've been looking at the scale and you don't see, you've been at the same number for weeks.
Yeah.
If 1 week you're at, let's just say 200, just a even number, mm-hmm. and the next week you're at 200, not necessarily a bad thing. One week intervals like that, that's not as big of a deal. But then if it continues and you're still sitting at 200, then you need to change something up.
Yeah, and I mean, especially because I dealt with this when I first started, and because I started off overweight, so I was trying to cut down, but I hadn't been in the gym for so long, so I was getting what you kept calling newbie gains, which is a real thing. I mean, when you're getting back into the gym, when you've been off for a long time or you've never been to the gym, you're going to put on muscle a lot faster than people that have been going to the gym, that have been training hard. So I think
because your body's new to it, any kind of new stimulus that your body is receiving, it's going to react.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I dealt with that because I wanted the scale to go down. But the thing was, I was putting on muscle. Another thing, which we can get into on another episode about supplements, but I started taking creatine, and that makes you hold a little more water, so that was adding weight. But it took me a little while to get over looking at the scale, because I was trying to look at it every day, trying to track, and there were times where it's like I looked better, but the scale stayed the same. So it just kind of depends on how you look at the whole picture. Mm-hmm. Don't just look at one aspect of it.
Well, the scale is definitely something that take with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
At most, you should be weighing yourself once a week, because one day at a time, you could have had more water one day, so now your body's holding on to a little bit extra water weight. The scale goes up.
Yeah, I had a little more carbs. But that's not actually... You had a little more carbs one day, and now your body's holding more water. But that's not an
accurate representation of what weight you're sitting at.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, and I always felt like this when I was trying to cut, and what I feel like we all are in a fitness journey, we care more about like what we look like than what the scale says. That's how I am. I just want to look in the mirror and be like, okay, like I like what I see, and that's what you should be focusing on. Because if you're putting in the work, no matter what the scale says, and you're doing everything right, your body's going to start looking more like the way you want it to. Mm-hmm. So worry more about that, and don't make that a whole body image thing, but worry more about what you're looking like rather than what the scale is saying. I mean, that the scale is just it's a flawed way of tracking progress. It's a way, but it's flawed.
It's just easier because there's an exact number, mm-hmm. and even if you don't necessarily look completely different from 1 week to the next and the week after, the scale could change, and so you're making progress. Yeah. But that's where like progress pictures come in, and that's really thing. Useful.
That helped me a lot.
So the scale is a good tool, but it shouldn't be the main thing that you go off of.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like you said, you can be gaining muscle and losing fat at the same time, and so the scale might not change.
Yeah. Or it might even go up.
Yeah, but if you look at yourself and you can tell a change, focus more on that.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you do actually, like getting back into the plateaus, things that you can do, for example, going to cutting, trying to lose fat, lose weight, is refeed days.
Yeah.
So what a refeed day is basically you've been cutting your calories for so long, and would you say it's almost like your metabolism kind of
catches up almost?
Well, it would slow down.
Or well,
really.
yeah, it slows down. I mean, I'm saying catch up in the sense of like it's gotten used to like what you're taking in, because when you go from eating all this food and being overweight and you're trying to cut, your metabolism when you first cut the calories is like, okay, what is going on? We got to work overtime now.
Yeah.
Because you're not taking in as much. And so, yeah, I think that what I dealt with when I was cutting and I would hit a plateau is, it just felt like I wasn't eating in a deficit anymore. I still was, because I was tracking, I was doing everything right, but it just felt like I wasn't. And it felt like my body was...
You got used to it.
Yeah, it got used to the calories I was eating. So, and it, like, my body was saying, oh, we're not in a deficit anymore. We're good. So, yeah, I think refeed days are a big thing. And I didn't really pay attention to them or even think about them until you kind of mentioned them to me, because I think whenever you're cutting and you're really locked in on it, you get so in your head about like, no, I don't need to eat. No cheat days. And because with me, it was almost like if I have a cheat day, I'm going to take it and run with it. Mm-hmm. And it's like opening the door almost. So I think that once you build that discipline, you know that you're not going to go overboard. I mean, having one refeed day like every other week or something to where you just eat. And if you're really in a good deficit, if you go over one day out of the week and you're still under your calories for the week, you're fine. Mm-hmm. Look at it more of a week instead of a day. So I think having a refeed day to where you're probably going to go over your calories for the day, but you eat more carbs, make sure you get your protein in, just kind of load up on carbs. It makes a world of difference.
And that's what a refeed day is. I didn't really get back to explaining what it was. A refeed day is just intaking, usually recommended is double your carbs. Mm-hmm. So if your normal intake of carbs is 250 grams, let's just say, 500. It's a lot, but it can really almost in a way reset your metabolism. You'll feel fuller, you'll get a little bit more energy, it'll kind of reset your body. And so when you get back into the cut the following day, get back to the gym, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to feel like reset, refreshed.
Yeah, because when you get deep into a cut especially, you feel weak all the time. I mean, your energy's low, and you're not feeling good. Mm-hmm. Like my problem was I would be just working out, and I would just bend over, dude, and I'd get lightheaded. It's just because I wasn't taking in that many calories. So when you really have a good refeed day and you start taking those, you feel amazing for at least a couple days after.
Because it's real easy for people when they get to a plateau, when they're trying to lose weight, just keep cutting calories.
Yeah.
Okay, keep cutting calories. Oh, hit a plateau, cut them again, cut them again. And that's not necessarily the best thing to do. A lot of times people, they'll cut their calories too low right from the get.
Yeah.
And it needs to be a slower progression, because if you cut it too quick, your body's like, oh, what's going on? I've been used to X amount of food. Now I'm only getting this much, a fraction. So it's going to hold on to some of that body fat. You need to slowly let it go, because your body's like, oh, I have enough, but it's still less than what you were having before. So I can get rid of this little bit of fat. Mm-hmm. You go into a starvation mode, survival instincts of your body to hold on to some of that fat, because it doesn't know if it's going to be getting any more.
Yeah, that someone explained it to me, and it might have been you, or I might have seen it somewhere. But they said whenever you almost like starve yourself, and there's people that think like, I'm just going to starve myself to lose this weight. And I'm like, that's not going to work. you might lose some water weight right off the bat and lose a bunch of weight, but then you're going to be stuck because your body is, you're basically making your body think, I don't know when I'm going to get more food again. Mm-hmm. So, dude, I'm holding on to all this because I need this to function. So you're basically telling your body that it's not getting any more food. So it's going to just lock up almost and just be like, no, I'm not getting rid of anything. I'm keeping everything. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's really important not to just start starving yourself. I mean, you have to do it smart. Drop it slowly, like you said, because it's almost like you have to acclimate your body to this new set of calories that it's getting. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people just straight up off the bat, I'm cutting all my calories in half.
Yeah, and that's not the best thing to do. Another thing you can do on top of the refeed days is just upping your calories in general for a little while, like a mini bulk.
Yeah.
Just if you're tracking, you can systematically do that. That'd be preferred. Mm-hmm. But maybe just a week or 2 weeks. Just up them for a little bit, go right back down. And from my experience, you'll see the progress immediately. Because when you're losing the weight, you look a little bit better. Your muscles look a little bit fuller. You feel stronger. You feel a little bit better. And then you get back into it. Then you start to cut the weight again pretty quickly. Yeah. And so it's just a whole bunch of progress in just a short amount of time.
Yeah, and I did that a good bit towards the end of my cut because it was a struggle. So, yeah, I think that – and it's not upping them crazy now. It's not like just having 2 weeks of cheat meals. So, I mean, it's upping them by like 200, 500 calories. Nothing crazy. But that a little bit makes a world of difference. And it's like almost kind of like a refeed day, but it's almost like sustaining that for a couple weeks. And your energy's so much better. You just feel better, like you said. And, you feel fuller, all this stuff. And it helps a lot long-term in the cut because you can only cut your calories so much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's almost like jumping back up for a while to go back to where you were at. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like throwing your body off, like surprising your body almost. That sounds weird, but it's like telling it, all right, this is what we're going to have from now on. It's like we're going to go back to right here, and it's like, oh, okay, and then starts cutting again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've seen good progress from that when I've hit, like, plateaus.
For sure. On the flip side of that, plateau when bulking, for me, really the only thing I can think of is just increasing your calories, which sounds counterintuitive to what we were just saying.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you're bulking, then you're trying to be the opposite of You're trying to put on.
It is opposite. It works a little differently. So it is increasing your calories because a lot of people, when they try to put on weight, they say, oh, I'm eating all day. And usually they're not. Yeah. People don't understand the calories that are in certain things and how much they need to have. So if you have like a high school football player, super active all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm eating all day. I can't put on weight. You need to eat more. It's as simple as that. And it kind of sounds bland, but it's the truth. And a thing you can do is little hacks. I mean, I've done some crazy things to try and get a lot of calories in total in, like heavy whipping cream, olive oil, like super calorie dense things. McDonald's, just fast food, just in general. But also, kind of like what we said with the mini bulk, you can do a mini cut. So if you're bulking and you put on, you're going to put on some extra fat, and that's expected. That's fine. It's part of the process. But you don't want to put on too much. And if you get to a point, now you just start looking bad. You don't want to just go ahead and start a cut and then not fully commit to the bulk. Yeah. And now you're kind of staying the same. Just a mini cut. Mm-hmm. Like we said, throwing out the calories. Your body's kind of all over the place. Then it gets back to it, and it will respond better.
Yeah. And I think when you're bulking, because, I mean, I'm on my first bulk, which is terrifying because coming from a guy that used to be overweight, it's rough. But, yeah, like you said, people will say, I'm eating all the time. But what are you eating? Like, they'll just be eating little snacks all the time. And they might eat
nothing with true sustenance.
Yeah, they might eat like 7 or 8 times a day, but their calories only equal up to like 2,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
And that's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I mean, honestly, for a really effective bulk, eat like 4 to 6 times a day. Have those meals and nothing crazy. I mean, not full blown meals, but like hearty, like calorie dense meals throughout the day. And if you can't do that, do 3. And my problem right now is I just don't eat breakfast. So it's like I'm cramming it in 2 meals. Don't do what I'm doing, but I just don't like eating breakfast. So
I mean, if it works.
Yeah, and it's working because I'm putting on weight. But yeah, I think the main thing if you're struggling with putting on weight is, 1, pick up the fork, but make sure what you're eating goes along with the bulk. I mean, make sure that you're eating calorie dense, high protein meals that will like fill you and put a good amount of calories in your system.
And another big thing for both bulking and cutting, mainly cutting, trying to lose fat, is ensuring you're getting an adequate amount of protein in.
Yeah.
Because people
Honestly, the hardest part.
Yeah, people underestimate how much protein you need to have. There's different measurements and different people have said different things, but a good rule of thumb is usually 0.8 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight. So it's a little off since we don't use kilogram. Yeah. So
gram per pound of body weight.
yeah, that's also a good rule of thumb. A gram per pound of body weight, or a gram per pound of body weight that you're trying to get to. So say you're 300 pounds, you're trying to cut down to 250. 250 grams of protein.
See, I saw something the other day that made a lot of sense to me. It was a gram per pound of lean mass. That made a lot of sense to me because if you have like a scale at your house, and they're not super accurate, but they can give you an idea, I think. So say like I'm 200 pounds, I got 150, 160 pounds of lean mass on me. That could be the amount of grams that I'm trying to hit.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes a lot of sense to me, and it kind of, because I'm gonna be honest, if you're up in weight, like you said, go for like the weight you're aiming for. But yeah, if you're 200, 220, 230, and you're trying to hit that amount of grams in protein a day, it can be rough, especially on a cut. That's when it's really hard. Yeah. But
because I mean, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I was cutting 220 grams, which I mean, it got easier for me over time, but it can be pretty rough.
But just try to stay. I mean, you want to have a lot of protein, so at the very least, I would say you want to have at the very least 3/4 of your body weight in grams.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like an easy way to get into it, but if you can, do a gram per pound of body weight, or per gram per pound of body weight. I think that's like the best way you could do it. But
and if you've never done it, if you've never tracked calories or paid attention to any of that, just on top of what you're doing now, have a protein shake or a protein bar.
Yeah,
just supplement it, that little extra. If you're going to the gym and doing everything else right, it'll make a difference.
Yeah, and dude, a hack, like you talked about hacks, a hack for me when I was cutting that helped get my protein in and helped kill my sweet tooth, because I have a terrible sweet tooth. Anytime I eat a meal, I want something sweet after it. And so what I started doing was, when I finished a meal and I wanted something sweet, protein shake. 2 birds, 1 stone. That would give me that extra protein, but it would get rid of my sweet tooth, because I was drinking like the Fairlife chocolate. And so they're the best, dude. So that was a great way for me to kill eating a bunch of crappy sweets after a meal, but it also helped me get to my protein goal. So stuff like that is ideal.
Yeah. What helped me with my sweet tooth was the I can't remember what yogurt. It was like Dannon. I think it's the yogurt.
I like Oikos, Greek yogurt.
Yeah, it might have been that one. It was a coconut. No, it was good. It was like a sweet coconut something, and then I put some granola in there, and then some dark chocolate chips.
Yeah,
that was really good to help with your sweet tooth. Or was it stevia? Like the sugar, the sweetener.
Yeah,
because 0 calories. But if you need a little extra sweetener in something.
So what I started doing, I actually had it the other night, is the Oikos vanilla Greek yogurt with granola, like honey granola. Put in sugar-free caramel sauce. so good. Or sugar-free, like syrup, maple syrup.
Yeah.
So good, dude.
Good.
But yeah, it's all about finding what works for you, whether you're cutting or bulking. And with bulking, and I'm going through this right now, is trusting the process. Knowing that, because me right now, from me like 5 months ago or 4 months ago, I'm not near as lean, and I've seen pictures of like when I was at the very end of my cut, and I was like, dude, I didn't know I got that lean. And it's like I looked really good, but on the flip side, I feel like I looked a little small. So now I've put on some fat, but I've also put on a good bit of muscle, but it's just a struggle to like look at how lean I was, and now I'm not that lean. I got more body fat, and it's hard to get through, but all I can say is what I'm doing is just trusting the process, because the way I look right now, I'm not worried about it, because I know this is what I have to go through to get to where I want to be.
Exactly.
So it's just about getting over the now for your goal. So
I guess to wrap up on the fitness side of Plateaus would be strength.
Yeah.
If you or more on the powerlifting side, or you just want to increase your bench, squat, whatever.
Yeah.
You want to switch up your rep ranges. So typically someone who wants to gain strength on a lift will do lower reps, super high weight, and let's just say, for example, you're doing a 5x5. So you're doing 5 sets of 5 reps. So on the lower end, lots of rest time in between. You can switch it up. You can go to 3 sets of 2, 3 sets of 3.
Yeah.
And the main thing, at least with strength, but this applies to everything in the gym, is rest, because
underrated.
Underrated, very. You want to give your central nervous system a time to recover. If you're constantly pushing your body, it's not giving, not even just your muscles, but it goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
A chance to fully just reset.
Yeah.
So if you've hit a plateau in strength, you could just take a week off from strength training and just do straight hypertrophy training, go lighter weight, higher reps, more of a bodybuilding style, and then go back into it, and then you're kind of adjusted, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not big into, neither one of us are really into like powerlifting, but we want to lift heavy weight, but we're more devoted to the bodybuilding side of it, I would say. But we still want to be strong. Like, I'm trying to get up a heavy deadlift. So another thing that I would do that would help, like say you're wanting to get stronger in this one lift. Look at other, and you hit a plateau, but look at other exercises in the gym that can benefit to that one. Like for me with deadlift, if I'm struggling, I'm hitting a plateau with deadlift, I can't get heavier. Let me do some more RDLs. Let me do some more like good mornings. I mean, breaking it up into lower half training, upper half training, and they both go to deadlifting. So, I mean, if you hit a plateau of strength, I think the biggest thing is to change it up, change something up in that, like take an extra rest day. One, making sure you're getting enough sleep at night. Like we said before, that's very underrated. But yeah, change up your volume, change up your reps. I mean, you could do more sets, working up to a top set, and then go back down, like lowering the weight. But yeah, I mean, with strength, and it's kind of like a trial and error almost, figuring out, because I think it's different for everybody. Like, I honestly think that different lifts and feels different to people. You feel it in different muscles than others. So the biggest thing is just keep trying stuff until you figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what we've done. And because we don't like all the same lifts. I mean, there's different lifts that benefit, like, and there's different lifts that people are stronger at. Like, I'm not strong at all in bench, but I'm super strong in deadlift. So that's what I lean towards, and that's what I try to, like, build up my strength in, which that sounds dumb because I need to build it up. Like, I'm still building it up in the others.
Yeah.
But I am a lot better at deadlift, and so that's kind of like I'm already at that heavy weight, so I want to see how heavy I can go. But everybody's different. So find out what works best for you and what you enjoy the most.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing to encompass all of these fitness plateaus is that mental plateau.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's in all of these. It's going to be a mental plateau. But, I mean, like we said before, change it up. Change up your routine. I mean, change up the lifts that you're doing. Take some time off. And I think that we both went through that this year, especially deep into the cut. We just got mentally burnt out. And so,
and I've there was a point I didn't go to the gym for a week or so.
Yeah.
And not proud of it, but whenever I got back into it, I felt refreshed. I felt reset, and then I hit it harder than ever.
Mm-hmm. I think of the Karate Kid, the remake. It's not as good, but with
Jaden
Smith and Jackie Chan, and I forgot what it was called in Chinese, but it was too much of a good thing can be a bad thing.
Oh yeah.
And so in the gym, I definitely can see that. And like that same time that you took off, dude, I was burnt out. I was still showing up. I wasn't getting nothing out of it. I was coming in here, going through the motions, and then going home. So I wasn't benefiting. It was basically the same as me taking a week off. But the thing was, I wasn't getting the rest that I could have been. So yeah, don't be afraid to stop for a week, because you're going to want to come back. If you're truly dedicated to it and you got that discipline, you're going to want to come back. So don't be afraid of you just quitting altogether, because when you do come back, the results can be crazy. How much different you feel and how much better you feel.
Because there's a difference with like, oh, you're skipping the gym this week. You're not staying hard. Whatever David Goggins mentality, like that. Forget all that mess. You know, there's a difference between that and you just feeling lazy and you're just not going.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need it.
Yeah.
And it's for the best.
Yeah. If you're just doing it because you're like, I don't feel like it today, go to the gym. We go gym. So I think that if it's really wearing on you mentally, physically, yes, take some time off. But if you're just doing it to be lazy, and then nah, you need to get up and go to the gym. But that's going to lead us into the next part, which is the most important part, and that's hitting plateaus in your faith, because that's a real thing. And I think any Christian that's a true follower of Christ, like you've probably been through it. There's a lot of times that it feels like you're going backwards, or you're just not getting better or not growing in your faith. So I want to look at some things that we can do to help hitting plateaus. So I think that the first one that we could look at is growth doesn't always look like progress. So, I mean, in faith, we might be growing, but we don't see the progress. And unlike fitness, I mean, you can see some progress when you're growing, but in faith, there's times where you can be growing, but you're not seeing the progress. And in fitness, a plateau happens when you stop seeing visible results, like we talked about. But, I mean, you're going through the same workout, same effort, but no noticeable change. It's frustrating because it feels like you've stopped growing. But spiritually, we often hit similar points. Prayer can feel dry. The Bible just feels routine. Reading the Bible feels like we're just checking off the list, and we don't feel close to God. But just like in training, I mean, growth often happens beneath the surface. So just because you're not necessarily seeing the progress, it doesn't mean that you're not growing.
That kind of makes me think, it's like once you've gotten to a certain point and you can see the growth, then you can say, oh, I've grown. But say that God's allowing a hardship to happen in your life for you to grow through that, to rely on him, to pray, to trust in his plan.
Yeah.
But in that time, during that, you don't see it as progress.
Yeah.
When you come out the other side, you can say, then you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
He got me through that. I trusted in his plan, etc. But in the process of it, you don't notice it. You don't see it as progress, even though that's exactly why he's allowing it. He knows that progress can come from that if you allow it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I 100% agree with that. And I think that Plateaus reveal the need for change. So, I mean, if you're in the gym and you hit a plateau, you realize something's got to change. You got to change something, like we talked about earlier. And a spiritual plateau is God's way of saying that it's time to grow differently. I mean, we got to change it up to grow different. We're still growing. We're not going to stop what we're doing, but we're going to just grow differently. So, I mean, you might need to change how you spend time with them. I mean, serve others more. Or honestly, just step out of your comfort zone. I mean, there's so many ways that you can grow differently, and I think the biggest one is stepping out of your comfort zone. We don't, as Christians, we're called to. God doesn't call us to comfort. He calls us to go and to make disciples and share the word, and most of the time that is not comfortable.
No.
But when we're hitting a plateau in our faith, it's just God telling us that it's time to grow differently. So you got that verse?
Yeah, I was about to say that kind of leads us right into this verse.
Yeah.
Hebrews 5:14. But solid food is for the mature, for those whose senses have been trained to distinguish between good and evil.
Yeah, I mean, the way I take that is, I mean, training your spirit, it requires change. I mean, over time, and change. I mean, it requires change. It requires adaptation, and I think the most important, which we've touched on so many times in the past, is it requires discipline. Just like your muscles, just like training in the gym, it requires all those things. So we can't look at it as a different thing, which, don't get me wrong, your faith is the most important, should be the most important thing in your life. But we can look at it in the same aspect of hitting plateaus, making changes, doing this and that, but the goal stays the same. We might have to change how we're getting there, but the goal is always going to be the same.
Well, for this verse too, talking about the food, we refer to the term baby Christian a lot, someone who has just found God, they're new in the faith. It's like a baby. They're not going to eat solid food.
Yeah.
They're going to start off with formula and then the little, soft food that they can eat. But then after a while, they need to move on from that because that's not going to be enough now.
Yeah.
It's the same in our faith. When you are first starting, maybe you're the whole food, the tough you can't eat yet as a baby Christian.
Solid food. Yeah.
Might be taking a leadership role in the church.
Yeah.
You're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
So you need the soft stuff. You need to just focus on prayer, showing up to church, learning more about God, diving deeper into the Word, and then eventually you will get to that point. But you're just not quite there yet.
You need to be discipled before you disciple others.
Exactly.
I mean, you need to have somebody that is mature in their faith come alongside of you and teach you and disciple you up until you get to the point where you can go and disciple others. So I think that, and like we've talked about before, discipline outweighs motivation. So like we've said in the past, I mean, you know what the goal is. You know it's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of hard times to get to that goal. But the thing is, there's not a straight path. There's not just one path to go. Like I don't know how to explain it, but there's not just one thing that you can do to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a Christian, yes, all you need to do, you need to be saved. You need to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. If you haven't, it's the best thing you'll ever do in your life. But after that, that isn't the end. It's not like, this is all I have to do and that's it. I'm going to heaven. Well, yeah, if you are truly saved and you truly trust in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, yes, you're going to heaven. But that's not all he calls us to do. He calls us to go to the ends of the earth, to go make disciples. So you want to live for him, especially if you're truly saved. You want to do everything you can to glorify him and glorify the kingdom of God. And that is going throughout your whole life, doing everything you can to bring others to Christ and to make sure that you're being an example of Christ. You're being a reflection of Jesus. Like you've said before, our goal is to be to live as close to like Jesus did as we can. We're never going to get there. We're never going to be perfect, but we want to align ourselves as close as we can with Jesus. Mm-hmm. So it's going to take some change throughout that journey to get there, to get to the end goal.
If you want something you've never had before, you're going to have to do something you've never done. And if you want to grow in your relationship with Christ, then you're going to have to do more.
Yeah.
I mean, with much given, much is required.
Yeah.
If you want that responsibility to be required of much, then you have to get there.
Yeah, yeah. You got to put forth more effort.
You got to put forth that effort to receive that responsibility.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that, like, kind of what you're saying is, just because you hit a plateau, it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. I mean, there's good plateaus, and plateaus prepare you for that next level of your training, of your faith, whatever it may be. You can look at a plateau as a good thing sometimes. I mean, there's some times where you've slacked off and that's why you've hit a plateau, but there's also times where you've pushed so hard and you've grown so much that the ways that you were doing before, you've outgrown it. And so you have to change that to, like you said, if you're a baby Christian and you're doing these things that are glorifying Christ and helping you grow, at some point you have to start taking in more advanced material, more advanced ways of growing your relationship because you've outgrown the old ways.
Yeah. Like, I'm in Sunday school at 8 years old, learning the books of the Bible through song. That's not going to pass now. That's not enough. That's a good place to start. And you don't have to be 8 years old. You find God at 30.
Yeah.
And then you're learning the books of the Bible. Awesome. But after that, you got to start digging into the Word.
Yeah.
Start digging in your Bible.
Yeah. I mean, every athlete knows that once you push through the plateau, that's where the real transformation starts. So spiritually, God uses those slow seasons to refine your heart so you're ready for deeper responsibility, stronger faith, and a greater purpose. Mm-hmm. So Philippians 1:6 says, Philippians 1:6 says, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. So, I mean, even when you feel stuck, God hasn't stopped training you. And you had mentioned before we started, when we were talking, you mentioned that you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You're not staying the same. You may feel like you're staying the same, but honestly, if you feel like you're staying the same, you're probably getting worse. So there's only one that never changes, and that's God. So we can always rely on the fact that he is always going to be good. He's always going to be right next to us. He's always going to be loving. Also, he's always going to be a just God. But he's always perfect.
Like you said, God doesn't hit plateaus.
Yeah, exactly. God doesn't hit plateaus. God stays the same, and that is almighty, all powerful, all good, all loving, all knowing. But that's what we can look at is if in our faith, if we're truly following God, we may feel like we're stuck, but if God leads us into this, he's going to lead us through it. But the thing is, we have to be willing to take that first step. We have to be willing to push when it gets hard. We have to be willing to change it up when we feel like we're stuck and we can't move. But we have to know that God is still right there with us. And he's not going to abandon us.
Yeah, you're going to have to be willing to change something up. If you're getting distracted by things of the world, and that's what's causing you to plateau because you're getting distracted from diving deeper into the Word, growing closer to Him, then you're going to have to get rid of some stuff. Mm-hmm. A big one is social media, technology. If you're constantly scrolling, and there's nothing wrong with doing that per se, but if that's all you do and you just spend hours on it and you can't even take 20 minutes to read the Bible,
yep,
you might need to cut back.
Yeah,
you're going to have to change up something.
Yeah.
Like I said, change. If you want something you've never had, you got to do something you've never done. If you've never done it, that's going to be uncomfortable. But
yeah,
if that's what needs to be done, you just got to do it.
Yeah, and you want to know what the Bible says about it? It says, and I don't know exactly where, and this might not be the exact wording. Look it up, and because I'm not perfect, and I might mess it up. But it says, if your right foot is causing you to sin, cut it off.
Cut it off.
That's what the Bible tells us. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I think deleting something and deleting an app or cutting out a little bit of this time, that's subtle compared to what the Bible tells us to do.
I think the verse said your hand.
Yeah, it might be.
And then maybe your eye as well.
Yeah. So
gouge it out or something. Ugh.
But if it's a part of your body causing you to sin, cut it off.
Yeah.
So if there's something that's causing you to hit a plateau and leading you further from God, cut it off.
And that's not to say that thing that you have to stop or get rid of is inherently evil or that you can't go back to it. Say you stop social media for a while.
Yeah.
And you grow with Christ. That doesn't mean you can't go back to it or you can't have it at all.
Yeah.
It's just you can't put it first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, I mean, in fitness, plateaus test your commitment. In faith, plateaus test your trust. So in both, the key is consistency. You got to stay consistent. Showing up even when you don't see the progress. Because, like I said in the beginning, you can be growing without seeing the progress. Knowing that growth takes time and that God is strengthening you for something greater. And just because I say consistency is the key, that doesn't mean that you can't take off from the gym. I mean, we even said it before. Be consistent in your hunger for the goal that you have set before you. Don't veer from the path to where you turn from it. You might just have to take a couple extra turns, the scenic route, to get to where you're going rather than the easy way. Mm-hmm. Especially as a Christian and in your faith, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. But the thing is, you have to stay disciplined, have to stay consistent, and keep your eyes on the goal that is before you rather than getting distracted from other things.
Because the path is narrow.
Yes. The path that leads to destruction is broad, but the path that leads to God is very narrow, and it's very hard. I mean, I see it as hills and up and down and back and forth. That one going to destruction, it's nice.
It's cakewalk. That's easy. That's what's comfortable. That's where. I mean, we wish we had it like that. As Christians, we wish it were that easy.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, at the end, it's more about the destination than the journey with that. And people always say the journey is more than the destination or whatever it is. No, our journey to heaven is hard. Mm-hmm. And our journey to meet God is very hard, and it's going to be a struggle. But the thing is, at the end of it, we're rewarded for going through that struggle and following God. You're rewarded on your journey to hell. Not by God, but by Satan. But by the time you get to your destination, boy, it's too late and you're screwed. So I I think that the biggest thing, man, I mean, we're all going to hit plateaus, and you're going to hit plateaus in every aspect of your life, your job, your hobby, whatever you're doing with your kids, with your family, relationships, you're going to hit plateaus. But the thing is, keep your eye on the goal. What is the end goal? I mean, what do you want it to be like? You might have to do things that you didn't think, like you said, to get to where you want your relationship to be, or whatever it may be. Like you want it to look like this, but you got to do this to get it to look like this.
Yeah.
So don't get too caught up in what the or hitting the plateau. Get caught up in how am I going to change it?
And always put God first in whatever it is.
In everything.
Put God first on your list. God's first. And then your family, put God first in your family. Put God first in your friends. Put God first in the gym.
Yes, exactly. But that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Stay ready. Lift heavy.
Yeah.